Welcome in, Monday edition, Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Another week with you. Talk some basketball today. The Rebels 9-0 after a win in Orlando against UCF yesterday. They now have almost a week off prior to a trip to San Antonio to play the Cal Bears, who have a pretty subpar record, but have had some interesting games on their schedule. But we're not talking about Cal today. We'll talk a little basketball. We will look at some portal activity. The Rebels very busy in the transfer portal as we continue to make way towards signing day, toward the Peach Bowl against Penn State as well. So a lot coming up on today and throughout the week. Also on the podcast presented by Twisted Tea, all MPW digital podcasts presented by Twisted Tea. And, of course, the Oxford Exxon, 10 years with them. Appreciate Ben and David and the guys at Critical every single day. And you can let them help you out, too. You can do that. Again, getting lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides bread, any size fountain drink. Again, might as well get the large one. You get a clean convenience store, and you get the beer cave. Go in, pick up whatever you need alcoholic beverage-wise for the week, the weekend, holiday season. Sometimes that's needed a little extra. So all those things can be helping you out there at the Oxford Exxon and any Blue Sky location up and down I-55 and throughout North Mississippi as well. And, again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and let's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guests will join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. The Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102. Just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow, the Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care to pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Enjoying the transfer portal, Mr. McCready. Having a good time with the world of recruiting here in 2023.
I'm looking forward to about 10 a.m. to noon on the 21st of December. I'm going to put away this site, my phone, and the words transfer portal will disappear from my vernacular for 5 full days. And those will be 5 of the most joyous days of my life. I'm going to look anyone in the eye during those 5 days who asks me something that resembles the word transfer, portal, or football.
Okay.
And just walk away.
Delete those from the lexicon completely for the better part of a week there at that point.
I mean, if
we take a very serious situation.
If one of my brothers looks at me and says something about the transfer portal, I'm going to say, "Really?
Oh, that might be a good thing." Yeah, Christmas table. Hey, so what so and so get? What so and so get? What do you think?
I will just.
What do you think? Ole Miss shot with Walter Nolan. What do you think?
I will ask
Can we explain that?
I will say, "Tell me about computer programming, and let's talk about insurance underwriting. Let's do it right now. Let's dive in."
Like I'm 5, and then proceed like I'm knowledgeable.
And just keep talking.
All the way through it.
And just talk for like an hour. I'm not listening, but talk. Yeah.
Ole Miss, good news on the retention front over the weekend. Jordan Watkins announcing that he is back next season. Caden Prieskorn last night announcing that he is back as well. Those were expected. And then what we have thought for a while and is not yet official, but it seemed like a good bit of foreshadowing, Walker Jones putting eyeballs on Trey Harris, likely coming back as well. He put the eye emoji on a tweet regarding that yesterday. And in the world of 2023, okay.
I love Walker. Good dude. Nothing but nice to me.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he ever looks back and goes, I wonder if I would be putting eyeball emojis on top of a tweet about a 21-year-old boy. I wonder if he ever looked at that and said, that's something I want to do. Now, look, he's more successful than I'll ever be. He's made it a lot further than I have. But that's that humbling moment that keeps us all retweeting eyeball emojis. And I'm not making fun. Everybody does it. I get it.
Oh, I mean, it's doing the job effectively.
On the other hand,
yeah. Do you have a predicate on that, or are you just saying?
Just leaving it.
Okay.
That way I don't have to say it.
Okay. I was just waiting.
No, I'm good.
They get those two. Again, probably to get Harris as well. From an offensive standpoint, barring something happening at the running back position, offensive line is where things are setting there, seeing what you've got from development from a bringing in standpoint. Still appear to be in the mix with Carter Smith, the kid from Indiana.
The offensive line market is more expensive than people think it is. And it's where things are interesting for a lot of schools. You have to go into it deciding what something's worth. And even though you think something's not worth what you think it's worth, you might have to overpay to get it because the fall off from what you want to what you end up getting.
Supply and demand.
100%.
Yeah, is it really, really worth that in a different market? No.
And I do wonder 3 years from now, when the COVID thing is out of the way, because you have all these guys that are using a COVID year.
Yeah, right.
We're running out of people that get to use a COVID year.
No, we're in this last chapter.
When we get to the other side of this and there is no development, I wonder whether there will be. It'll be a great day to be a good offensive lineman with options, because I think you'll be able to really cash in, because that is a development position, and what is happening is there is no development at the top level. So the really good college offensive line coaches who coach at the upper level, they're not really developing anymore. Certainly not taking a young guy and developing him for 2 years. There's some of that, but not nearly like there used to be. And when I say used to be, I mean 5 years ago. And so I wonder two things. One, okay, this is an interesting topic. You didn't prepare for this, but it's something I've talked to about with a number of people.
All right.
And trigger warnings to some of you. And I mean this because some people do not like the concept that football at its roots has been poisoned a little. Okay? Not dead. Not dead. Nowhere close to dead.
Okay.
And we're talking about at its roots, guys, middle school, high school. Not talking about the NFL and the fact that the NFL gets buku ratings. We're not even talking about the college game. Georgia, Alabama gets massive ratings. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a longer-term, big picture thing that some coaches have talked to me about. There aren't as many players who typically play offensive line playing at the younger levels right now.
Sure.
The numbers are down. And if that's the case, over time, fewer people are going to be elite offensive line prospects.
Because there are fewer of them.
Which means that when they get to school and they get into the portal, the price on those guys, including interior offensive linemen, is going to go way up. Tackles, good tackles, not Laramie Tunsil tackles, good tackles. It's $500,000 per year. Before anybody wonders, what does that mean over 4 years? Because no, per year.
Everything's 1 year because you don't know what the hell's coming.
Yeah, and so it's a lot more expensive now with offensive linemen, and there aren't as many of them. And it might be, if you told me that outside of the obvious, right, quarterback, maybe elite wide receiver, maybe elite rush end.
Yeah.
If you told me that offensive line becomes the most expensive asset in the transfer portal within 24 months, I might completely buy it.
And I think it's all five positions. It's not like we're just talking about left tackle. We're talking about centers, about right guards. I mean, this is just in general. Can you play in the SEC at a competent to solid level? You have an offer coming.
Yes.
Are you usable at the power, whatever the hell we're calling it, level?
Yeah. If you walk in as a starter, your price is really expensive. And they're just because there's just not as many.
Everybody needs you.
And so these people that are, we're not doing well on offensive line recruiting. Well, yeah, no one else is either, champ. That's the point.
Which means you better develop.
You have to develop.
That's dovetailing back to your conversation last week. The one position where you go, I don't know, that may be the one spot where you just hold on to dudes and work them and develop them and get them ready to go by the time they're redshirt sophomores. See what that looks like.
Yeah. And then you better do what you can to make them happy, because if you develop them and they come in and they can play,
And there's going to be money behind that.
And they
somewhere.
decide to put their toe in the water. They're going to find that the water feels really nice. That's what's interesting. It's coming over time, and it might take 2 years, 4 years, but it's coming. There are fewer offensive line prospects coming out of high school here soon. And then there's a population hit that's coming. It's one of the things, if you want to get big school with a lot of these schools that are deciding, like Ole Miss is one of them for sure, right? Experiencing this boom in enrollment. They have a decision to make. Hey, do we build a bunch of dorms? Because coming soon is a drop in enrollment, not because your football team went to hell or because you had some scandal on campus. There's just fewer kids.
Yeah.
We have a population decrease.
Even if your drop-off is better than everybody else's drop-off, you're still not raising at this rate just based off the globe.
Yes.
I mean, it's
national birth rates.
Right.
It's there. What's coming in the next, I think it's 2, 3. Josh Hendrickson has talked about this.
Yeah.
He knows, he's in academics. I don't study population stuff, but I'll take people's word for it. There's a drop with college-aged kids in the next few years. Well, to think that won't extrapolate down to football a little bit too is sort of silly. Of course it will.
Now, here's the question. And because this is anything, right? And now this is going to take a minute, okay? Like, I get it. This is a down road question, not because this does not change what we're talking about in any way. As the market becomes so good for offensive linemen, doesn't that also make more people become offensive linemen down the road?
Perhaps.
But
that means playing football starting in the 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, when there's fewer of those kids that do it.
Well, it's just like I wonder, I get the college level because we're seeing that here on this campus as far as what these guys are worth and how different it is in the NFL. It's what the conversation we've had multiple times to some small level is, do you become a linebacker instead of a running back? The fewer kids want to tote the rock suddenly as you go down because the running backs aren't valued. They look up and see the media coverage of how they believe or how it's perceived that Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott and all these guys are being treated at the professional level and go, no, I'm going to be a middle linebacker. I'm going to be a rush end. I'm going to be this hybrid dude. I'm going to play defense.
Those guys have longer careers.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Does that change as far as, forever. I mean, probably when you were coming up, that was like the glamour thing. Hey, give me the ball, running back.
Yeah.
I want to be that dude.
Yeah. Yeah, there's fewer Walter Paytons and Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smiths and Joe Cribbs, and the list goes on. I could name a bunch of running backs when I was a kid that was the elite prospect. Neal Anderson. I can remember a lot of running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not that way. Now the elite positions are quarterback, receiver.
Ole Miss's issue is that there does not be a ton down the development track on the roster that Lane fully believes in. They like Bryson Sanders a lot.
Yep.
But beyond that, it's kind of hard to find where there's any tangible
I think there's some real optimism about Preston Cushman.
Yeah. I'll buy that. Sure.
But again, you're talking about 2 years to develop guys. Not a knock on the kid. That's what it's always taken.
Yeah, our instant gratification society is so different now.
It takes 2 years to develop a high school offensive lineman.
It's gotten so much worse. I mean, I remember whatever years this was, you'd probably have to help me. 10 years ago, he ended up having a really, really good career. But everybody told him, hey, well, Brian Bennett came in and he's a bust because he didn't play until his redshirt sophomore year. And it's like, it just is what it is.
Got 3 full years out of him.
Yeah. But now it's true freshman. You played or you didn't. What's wrong? Why are you not doing this? So you've got guys like Cushman and Cam East and Bryson Sanders. And look, I don't know what they are or they aren't, but they're on the roster, and you see what the development is as time moves on. But yeah, the thought that you were just going to go out there and grab 5 offensive linemen and make that your thing. I mean, I know Dion just did it, but beyond that, it's just not a deal. So I don't know.
I mean, as of this moment, Micah Pettis is still staying at Ole Miss. I've heard nothing about him testing the waters.
No, I think they've gotten, at least in principle.
And then other schools that are in bowl games.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The portal isn't done.
Oh, so close to done.
You're going to get another wave after this, and you're going to get another wave after the spring when guys look up and go, yeah, I don't really like where that's sitting.
Yeah. Now, that wave in the spring was less this time than what they thought it would be.
It was.
But, yeah, we have another one coming after the bowl games. The bowl games get started on Saturday. we're not picking those bowl games, by the way. I looked at it and made an executive decision.
I saw your email and saw there were a lot of games, but I did not notice when the game started.
I started on the 23rd, and I might still bump it back.
Okay. You didn't think we needed to do the New Orleans Bowl?
Well, it's that. I didn't want to build all those shells. And number two, I could just imagine
keeping score.
Well, not even that. To be honest, this is where
all right.
I could just imagine the optics of me having a day like on the 17th or 18th where some stuff came up. Like the 18th, a week from today, Carson has a game in Brandon. I'm going.
They play Brandon?
Yeah, at Brandon. So I'm going to drive to Brandon, which is a good 3 hours from here. Go to his game, drive back.
Okay.
I could only imagine the optics of being bad late on a couple of things that developed that day. And yet we've got up on the side our picks for the Toyota Bowl. The 10 people that would be like,
and I think what we do,
you had time for the Toyota Bowl, but not for recruiting. I could see that coming.
And I think what we're gonna do I think what makes sense with picks is put it over in like the 5th spot and just lock it in there for like a month.
Right.
It can go in and go, hey, this is 100%. Just gonna sit there.
100%.
And if you'd like to see it, it's in the little right corner hiding.
But if we start on the games on the 23rd, there's still plenty of games. Plenty.
I mean, look, I've got a 1-game lead, so the fewer games I have to pick is raising the win percentage expectations.
I was thinking of you. And then we'll do the NFL playoffs after that because
y'all suck. The fact that I have a 1-game lead is not an indictment on me. It's an indictment on you guys, is what it is.
I can't argue.
I thought I was 20 games out. I looked up and went, oh, God. Like, even Jeffrey, you suck. Like,
yeah. Jeffrey is he and Siski, in my opinion, are both, they overthink it. There's a fine line between overthinking and underthinking, and they're on the overthinking.
They're way over here, and then Caroline's way over here.
I'm more with Caroline on a weekly basis. Like this week, I'm not sure I watched 10 downs of football over the entire weekend.
I mean, you mean NFL and
NFL
everything.
too, yeah.
No, yesterday, it really bothered Dylan because he was like, are we related? The Saints are playing. And I'm like, have you watched the Saints play? I have no interest. I took Carly into a movie yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Was like,
what'd you see?
Trolls.
Oh, okay.
I went, no. I'm
good.
It's cute. It has its moments. The music is good. She and I both agreed of the 4 Trolls movies, it was both our least favorite.
Oh.
Which probably means it's worse than I even think, because if you're instantly saying it's the worst one,
it's
probably really the worst one. It might be number 3 for me, but it's not as good as the Christmas special, and it's not as good as the original for sure. So it's right in there. I question Carly Ann's taste a little bit because she thinks Trolls 2 is the best one, and I do not believe that is.
Well, she does see it through a different prism. I mean, in fairness to Carly Ann, she's not 40.
That is a good point. I have been the only people in a movie before. I've done that several times where you're the only people watching a movie. I was the only people we were the only people in the entire theater yesterday at 12:30. Like, there was no one in any other movie at 12:30.
12:30 on a Sunday I wouldn't think that's like a boom time for a movie.
Yeah, it started at like 12:20 or 12:25, and she was annoyed with me because I'm habitually early everywhere I go. So I had her waiting too long before the movie started.
Yeah,
she's like, is this coming, or like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
but yeah, going in, there was not even anybody like at the register or anything. Like, somebody came out of the back and was like, okay, here, like, whatever, here's your popcorn.
Probably could have just gone in.
Oh yeah, I mean, just whatever. And then even coming out, there were 2 people coming in to watch something right as we were leaving.
Wow.
And that was it.
It was a really pretty day.
Yeah, I mean, I went for a run, went to a movie. Yeah. I mean, at one point, I know Wednesday's our day, although it's really not this year. We'll just do it whenever we want to. Derek Carr at one point yesterday had completed 20 passes for 37 yards. I don't feel guilty for not watching that.
No.
20 passes for 37 yards. In a game they won 28-6 because the Panthers suck.
They're bad.
They suck.
They're horrible.
I mean,
and the Bears own their pick. They get nothing for being horrible.
No, Chicago's over here just going, yeah, sure.
Living the dream.
Chicago 5-8, or actually, yeah.
It's a good word for them. I don't know how you spell that, but that's about right.
Yeah. Broncos won again yesterday. Sean Payton just dragging them along, just dragging them along.
It's almost like you give that guy a team and look out.
He's doing that. I have Dennis Allen. That is where I'm sitting right now with my situation. Dennis Allen. He sucks.
Yeah.
Like, we were celebrating Mickey Loomis yesterday because he had 200 regular season wins or 200 wins total. I'm like, why? Like, I get it. You did the ring thing, sure, but
I got up yesterday. I worked on 10 Thoughts. I worked on recruiting, and then we'd had that quick storm blow through here on Saturday.
Yeah,
and the swimming pool was like a collection of leaves. And I spent an hour and a half working on the pool.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then I went running. That's why I can't walk today. Probably not a good sign. I went running, and then I turned on the Ole Miss game. And I turned the NFL on the other TV, but I wasn't interested. I had the little 4-box thing. Yeah. And I think I would have been better off just putting one game on.
Yeah.
4 games turned out to be more games than I wanted to keep up with, so I kept up with none.
I think that's a valid thing. Do a couple thoughts on that. First, speaking of the Saints and Dennis Allen, maybe you need BetterHelp. This show sponsored by BetterHelp. We're getting close to the holidays. I know it's a difficult time for a lot of people. It's not always merry and bright. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of different things that are potentially permeating and coming up into your mind during this holiday season. So if you'd like to treat yourself to a day of complete rest, remember to give yourself some love this holiday season. And try out therapy. If you have not, I've been to therapy, and it can help you in a lot of different ways. We said you talk to somebody who doesn't have any preconceived notions. You're not dealing with a family member or a friend or somebody who, is trying to put their own perspective on it. You're talking to somebody that's just there for you. So if you want to give therapy a try, give BetterHelp an opportunity at that. It's entirely online, convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. Brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Turn your camera on or off, whatever you need to make it for the best experience for you. In the season of giving, give yourself what you need with BetterHelp. That's BetterHelp.com/MPW to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/MPW.
If you need stocking stuffer ideas, something for the boss or Secret Santa, maybe you just want to treat your own feet, take advantage of incredible savings with Dead Soxy's Holiday 2023 sale. Head over to deadsoxy.com, use the promo code RebelGrove, get 33% off. Happy holidays, and as always, stay Soxy. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? Those are answers that can only really be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management sponsors my 10 Weekend Thoughts, which is up at rebelgrove.com. He also specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. A-Stock is a Nashville-based online retail company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at just $1, no matter what the retail value may be. So shop now at astock.bid, that's ASTOCK.BID, or download their app, name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers. A-Stock has multiple locations around Nashville, as well as Memphis, Selma, Indiana, and more coming soon, so that offer local pickups, so don't miss out. If you're ordering your Peach Bowl gear, you just college gear for the fan in your life, recommend the College Corner. It's collegecornerstore.com. They've got all the latest Peach Bowl gear as Ole Miss gets ready to play Penn State December the 30th. They also have 2 locations in the Jackson area, one here in Oxford right off of Sisk Avenue with more than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear. So again, collegecornerstore.com. And we're brought to you by Argent Wealth. formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent Wealth is based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. It's got clients in more than 20 states. Argent provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a community. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So get in touch with them at myargentwealth.com. Again, myargentwealth.com.
Podcast also brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. Getting close to the end of 2023, so if you need to make year-end donations for tax purposes, call the foundation. They'll walk you through their philanthropic giving initiatives, whether it's the Vault Society or Empower. Both give you a tax-deductible way to support the Champions Now campaign. If you're working on estate planning, you can also call the foundation to discuss Forever Ole Miss. For more information, 662-915-7159 or give to athletics.com. And then remember, Peach Bowl tickets still on sale as well. To pick those up, OleMissTix.com. Jump over to basketball. Well, actually, let's see what else I have on that real quick. You worried about the Eagles real quick?
I mean, a little
Cowboys popped them last night.
A little bit.
Two in a row.
Cowboys are playing really well.
Hurts has not looked great the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Prescott's very much in the MVP conversation today. But yeah, I mean, sometimes teams that make deep playoff runs that next year, they just don't have as much juice.
Also, can anybody with any logic whatsoever explain to me why the Chiefs are upset?
I don't know. He's offsides.
He's clearly offsides.
He's so offside that the referee can't see the ball.
They're mad they didn't get a warning when the emphasis this year was on calling that penalty.
They don't have to give you a warning. And you're also a professional football player. Line up right.
Mahomes saying that basically that it took away one of the great plays in sports history. No, you're offsides.
No, what took away the great play in sports history was he lined up offsides.
And they threw the flag immediately. It wasn't like he waited to see if Kelsey threw the ball. What are we doing?
No. Mahomes is the biggest crybaby.
Good Lord.
I mean, I want to like him because he's a historic player. He's incredible. But my God, shut up. If you're the lines judge, right, or the side judge, or whoever it is that makes that call, and you're staring at it and you don't call it, what happens? Why didn't you call offsides? He's offsides. I mean, you and I cover college football where the coaches talk about early in the year, man, we're just trying to get lined up right. These guys make a lot of money. Line up right. Yeah, Rudy was offsides too. It's worse.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. It's terrible. No wonder he got to the damn quarterback. He was 2 yards in the backfield when he lined up. Had he called that, we wouldn't have to deal with that godforsaken,
with
awful
every hot
movie.
take you have. It is the worst sports movie there is.
Yes, and so you know who I blame today? I blame the damn side judge for not calling Rudy Rudiger offsides where we could have avoided that godforsaken, hellacious, horrible, ridiculous movie. That's awful in so many ways. I'm with you. I'll fight people to the death on this.
The coaches who show that instead of Rocky or something for the motivational movie before the game, you should lose the game.
Absolutely. I hope you lose bad. I mean, it's so bad. It's a bad, bad movie. You want to come at me and go, hey, Rocky 2 sucked? I'm like, okay.
It did.
It did.
She was in the coma and the whole deal.
You want to come at me and go, hey, parts of Rocky 3 were really weird? Cool, I got you. I completely agree. But don't come at me with Rudy. What an inspirational film.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a good question.
What?
Would we even have Notre Dame on NBC if it weren't for Rudy?
Oh.
Because, I mean, let's be real here. Notre Dame, cool helmets, great uniforms.
Oh, sure.
But that's about it. I mean, when Notre Dame plays Navy, are you really locked in on Saturday afternoon?
The mileage that Rudy has gotten out of this, though, author, motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Goes around getting all the cash and the signatures and the stuff.
Just so bad.
5'6", 165 pounds.
Soaking wet.
They did you a favor. You got in the game.
Yeah, They let you have it. You think the jersey thing really happened? Where all the players went into Coach Parsegian's office and said, hey, we're not going to play if Rudy doesn't dress.
Rudinger.
I don't buy that at all.
From the Wikipedia page. Rudy said the movie's 92% true. 92, by the way. Yes. Okay. Sure. The players did not lay down their jerseys. Rather, the team captain and one of the other players requested that he be allowed to play. Dan Devine is given a somewhat antagonistic role in the film, but Devine was actually one of the biggest motivators to return to the team. The groundskeeper named Fortune. It's a combination of 3 different people.
Okay. It's true. About 38 years ago today, Rocky was arriving in Russia to get ready. We're coming up on what is always the anniversary of one of the greatest fights of all time.
That then put time travel into our world because the kid aged 6 years in 2 weeks.
It also ended the Cold War. So,
Rudy actually played for 3 plays, a kickoff, an incomplete pass, and on the 3rd play, the game's final play, sacked Georgia Tech quarterback Rudy Allen.
Was he lined up offsides?
It does not say that in the Wikipedia page. Rudinger set up a successful maintenance company and sold real estate. Did some motivational speaking, did some different stuff. He also, in 2011, was charged with securities fraud in connection with his role as chairman of Rudy Beverage Incorporated.
I'm shocked that he'd be involved in
the
something
government
fraudulent.
Alleged a pump and dump scheme.
Yeah.
He had to pay $382,000 in fines.
How come Die Hard can be a Christmas movie, but Rocky IV can't?
It's just as much a Christmas movie as Die Hard.
Every bit.
The inability for people to understand that a Christmas movie is not a Christmas movie simply because a Christmas movie happens at Christmas.
And can you imagine if you were like living in Moscow and you said, hey, honey, on Christmas Day, we're going to the boxing match. She couldn't be pleased.
Oh.
Christmas Day, we're going to go to the boxing match. It's Drago Balboa, babe.
Isn't that kind of like how we go to, you go to movies on Christmas Day?
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah. The boxing match.
We're going to go see a fight on Christmas Day in the cold. There's a lot to digest there.
My biggest problem with that entire thing was Paulie bitching about not being able to watch the Rose Bowl. Yeah. It's on January 1st.
It's not for another week.
You got a week to get back, bud.
I mean, it's a week.
Were you anticipating on staying in Moscow for a while?
Maybe he thought they'd get stuck in the snow.
Or get captured.
Or something might happen to Rocky.
Cold War tensions.
Yeah, yeah.
Thought if Drago kills Rocky right there, they're going to have a hard time getting back and all that stuff.
It's true. It was Soviet Russia. It's not like she had a big ham to put in the oven. It's a good point. It's a good point.
I mean, looking back and all of our movies being with Russia is just the crypt keeper. All of the movies, Russia is the evil empire, the whole deal. It's
like in the 60s when they were preparing for the nuclear war based on the Cuban Missile Crisis. You prepared by getting under your desk, like the desk was going to save you from a nuclear weapon. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. It's like mind games were happening there, right? We're conditioning you to hate the Russians.
Because like Top Gun Maverick, they don't identify the enemy as being from a specific country.
Oh, that's true.
They avoid
that would be too geopolitically incorrect.
They avoided that this is who is doing the damage. But back then, no, Russia. All Russia. Their fault.
Oh, yeah.
Peace. Yeah. That's it. It's on you.
I've told you when I was growing up, we would watch wrestling at night, and one of my fondest memories was watching it was Kevin Sullivan and Teddy Atlas fight the Russians for the World Tag Team Championship. That was intense stuff.
They win.
Well, a lot of times what would happen was the match would end in some controversial way.
So we could do it again.
Where it would end.
Uh-huh.
And so, but I do remember the time that I think it was Kevin Sullivan, quote, broke his arm, end quote.
Oh, really?
Because of the Russian sickle.
Oh.
They put him in the Russian sickle and it broke his arm, and my little brother Tim cried.
Did he really?
He was devastated.
It was a big deal in the McCready household that day.
It was a hell of a moment for us.
Okay. All right. On a basketball note, Ole Miss knocking off UCF 70-68 in Orlando. Several things were interesting about this yesterday. They got fairly quality minutes out of Austin Nunez when Murray was in foul trouble in the first half. They survived 11 minutes without Murray on the floor and still led by 7 at the break at that point. Had a pretty rough second half for the most part and sort of gutted it out, got a lead, and did everything they could do to blow it there in the last 20 seconds before holding on, winning 70-68. Flanagan and Cisse with 2 huge defensive stops on UCF's second penultimate possession, I guess, what that would have been at that point.
Good.
To lock it out. So 70-68, Ole Miss moving to 9-0. They just keep winning. It's rarely pretty. I think I was figuring it up yesterday. The ball has been in the air for a tie or a loss 5 times in their 9 games, maybe 6 at this point.
Yeah.
And they're 9-0. They just keep on keeping on. I'll get to it in a second. The computers hate them with every fiber of their being.
Well, they have no game control at all.
Yeah. The computers are not moving the numbers whatsoever, even though they keep winning games.
I get it.
Computers had them projected to lose yesterday.
Yeah.
They did win. And now they get Bryant, they get Troy and Southern Miss to close, and Cal to close the non-con prior to the trip to Knoxville.
They get Cal, Troy, Southern Miss, Bryant.
That is correct. Is Southern any good at all?
They beat State. But I don't know whether they're any good or not. I hadn't gotten that far.
Southern University beat State.
Southern University. I apologize.
No, the SWAC school beat State. I don't know what.
Forgive me.
Yeah, close enough. It's fine. Bryant does have a win over Florida Atlantic this year.
Yeah, they did.
They beat FAU.
Yep.
Now they've got some weird losses too, but they did beat FAU. At this point, I know nothing about Troy and then Southern Miss.
I can look up Troy. I'm not really sure.
Southern Miss is ranked 191 in the KenPom. They have nothing to really speak of at all. They have losses to Utah Valley, Cal State Fullerton, South Dakota State, and Akron. They have wins over Milwaukee. They beat Andy. They beat UAB in the road in Birmingham. Northwestern State.
UAB's struggling.
They are.
Yeah.
And they have McNeese and Lamar prior to playing the Rebels. So
Troy opened with an 18-point loss at Ohio, lost by 1 to Oregon State. They beat Reinhardt pretty handedly. They lost by 2 to Sam Houston, beat Grambling by 13, lost to Eastern Kentucky by 1, beat SIUE.
SIU Edwardsville, Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville.
Beat them by 23, lost to Dayton by 12. They play Suno tomorrow, Southern University of New Orleans.
Sure.
Is that a place?
Okay.
And then they play Ole Miss Tuesday the 19th at 6. So they're not off to the greatest start in the world.
Okay. So Ole Miss will be favored in the rest of these games. But again, yesterday they shoot 44% from the field. They go 40%, 6 of 15 from 3, shot well for 3. They, considering how they started the season and what that looked like, the fact that they are, I think at one point yesterday the graphic showed they were 10th in the country in 3-point shooting. They have defended the 3 incredibly well. KenPom gives them a lot of credit for that. Looking at it here, 3-point. Ole Miss 15th in the nation in 3-point defense at this point in the season. So they shot the 3 really well. They just kind of have to have stuff out of their stars every single game for the most part, and they got that from several of them yesterday. They only get 10 from Jalen Murray because of the foul trouble, but 18 from Flanagan. He was excellent. Morrell goes for 12, 5 of 11, and 5 of 9. So pretty good shooting. Nobody shot themselves out of the game in that way yesterday.
What killed them was the turnovers
and the rebounds.
Yeah,
they can't rebound.
They're
horrid.
They get beat on the boards just about every game.
I mean,
now, they don't typically turn it over 15 times.
But then yesterday, though, a lot of the rebounding stuff was just not catching the basketball. It's not even size and getting killed from a technical way. They just, there were multiple times where they didn't secure rebounds after free throws and just kept giving extra possessions to UCF at that point.
Because they lost on second chance points.
That's going to kill them. So they have to get better at that immediately for it to.
But here's what they've done. I don't know where they are in the net ratings. That came out the other day, and they were in the 90s. They're probably still low 90s. But if they go 13-0 in the non-league, they position themselves, if they can find a way to play 500 SEC basketball, to at least be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe when they go to Nashville, be able to do something in a tournament setting that forces
a committee to put them in.
Which is, look.
They were even having they won 10 games last year.
Believe me, I know I covered it.
10.
I needed better help at times last year. Literally, there were times last year, Ole Miss would have a game at 2 in the afternoon, and I would get up, I'd go work out, and at 10 o'clock that morning, the dread would set in.
To go to the arena.
Yeah, dread. And then the game would happen, and then the post-game dread, because everyone was on pins and needles. It was draining. No joke. And then you have to write about it. And the whole time you're writing about it, you're like, no one's reading this. No one's reading this. I could put a line in here about a bear in the woods, and nobody's reading this. That was deflating, if you will. Totally different. So the fact that we're going to have this conversation potentially just is remarkable.
It's baffling, isn't it?
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
They still need another scorer. There's some optimism that's lingering out there about Brandon Murray. I don't know. No one's going to talk about it.
They're hoping that things can force the hand a little bit there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hardman says, I miss Neal's beer line time updates. Well, last year, the beer line was me. This year, there have been times that I've been like 5th, 6th, 7th in the line.
No, the crowds have been fine.
I go get a beer at a basketball game because why not?
Why not? The crowds have been good.
I always can tell that it makes people on press row uncomfortable.
Does it?
I think so.
It's just right there. I mean,
it's just a beer.
You're not having 14.
No, it's not like I'm going, hey, Chris.
You're not getting sloshed up there at the press row.
Chris, could you comment? I mean, no, come on. I'm fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to beat Cal on Saturday, and when they beat Cal on Saturday, December the 16th, they will have matched their season total from last year from wins.
Yeah. I covered it.
Ugh. Well, you used to say, hey, you don't get it, but I did cover a 6-24 baseball season last year.
Well, you finally got it.
Yeah.
For the longest time, you didn't get it.
Yeah, because I come and go, yeah, God, they went 15-15, and Neal's going, now shut up. That's not how that works around here. Here's the deal, though. And the computers, this is a complimentary sentence to Chris Beard. The computers don't factor in who their coach is. And they're just playing very composed down the stretch. They're doing things. So they're going to be better than this. But Ken Palm has them winning the rest of the non-con and going into league play 13-0.
Mm-hmm.
If the computers were just completely right, Ole Miss will have played 2 baseball games by the time they win their second SEC game. They have them underdogs in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of their first 11 SEC games. The computers.
Yeah. I get it.
A home date against Vanderbilt in there would be the one game they are favored. So, again.
Yeah, I get it. 100%.
It's remarkable what they have done. You can see this thing that is developing and the way they're building. And, Corey Keys had a good point on Twitter this morning. I saw it, and he said, when a first-year coach does something very significant, it has very little to do with X's and O's. It's just making you believe and getting energy and a lot of those stuff. And that's what Beard has done in spades, is convincing them, hey, no, we're playing for now. Play the game. He's done coaching too. Don't get me wrong.
In the last minute yesterday, I mean, 2, I guess maybe 3 really critical turnovers. And yet they stayed very composed on the defensive end. That play, I don't remember exactly. I want to say Morrell had committed a turnover, and Johnny Dawkins called timeout with 29 seconds left. Set up a play. Dawkins has been there a long time. Duke protege, pretty good coach, I think. And they set up an inbounds play. Out of the timeout, the shot clock differential was around 6 seconds, maybe 7, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, sure.
So they had time. They had 22 seconds on the shot clock. Had time to run a complicated play. And they did, and it looked to me like they executed the play. But Ole Miss did every switch exactly right. Closed out exactly right. Cisse, who's a very good defender, was there at the end. But it was excellent. But it was more than just him. Everybody did their job on that play. And that was just a minute after a catastrophic turnover. Because at one point, I've got the notes here. I kept notes. They were up. Caldwell made the back end of a free throw opportunity at 51.7 seconds left to go up 68-62. So you're in pretty good shape at that moment.
I thought they had closed it at that point. I thought it was over.
But they give up a three. Avery hits a three for them, 68-65. And then you get the steal, the turnover. They have they commit a turnover after that. Their kid Allen makes 2 free throws, makes it 68-67. And then you turn it over again, and he calls the timeout. And you get the closeout. Flanagan goes to the line, makes both free throws. You think, hey, we're going to win this thing. We're up 70-67. We're not going to give up a three. You don't. You foul with 2.2 left. He makes the back end. I mean, ironically, everything that could have gone wrong for UCF did. He meant to make the first and missed it. Meant to miss the second, made it. 70-68, and then you commit an inbounds turnover. And dude's got an open look at the bucket, and Flanagan recovers to make the closeout. So you can do that glass half empty, glass half full, and I suspect Chris Beard's doing both today. Glass half empty is, oh my God, you cannot commit turnovers like that. Those kill you in a real game, right? On the other side is that your team didn't freak out. They didn't collapse. They didn't implode in those moments when it would have been super easy to do it. Like, look at each other going, what are we doing? We can't, all of a sudden, we can't get the ball up the court. We can't inbound the ball. 15 turnovers. But instead, they just close it out. But I get, it's one with the computers going, people go, what about the rankings? You're not winning in such an impressive way that national people or the people who have ballots look at it and go, boy, that's a top 25 team.
You have 2 really good wins.
Yeah. Memphis.
Drubbed NC State, and you beat Memphis.
You beat Memphis.
Memphis now has wins over Missouri and Texas A&M. They went to College Station and won yesterday. Big win for you, big win for them.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis has played a hellaciously hard schedule.
They have. You talk about battle tested.
Yeah.
When they get into the American, it's going to feel like they went back to spring training.
Ole Miss misses 10 free throws yesterday. At UCF misses 12. Now both teams went to the line 34 times yesterday.
Yeah, it was a bad whistle. It was a consistently bad. Bad's not the right word. They called a really tight game, and they did it the whole game. They did it to both.
As opposed to basically calling a lot of loose games in Ole Miss games lately. Like, we hadn't really had bad whistles.
Well, the Memphis game, I thought it was well officiated.
Yeah.
Just let them play. I didn't think yesterday was badly officiated. I don't like tight officiated games. I don't like tight whistles where they just don't let you get away with anything. But if they're consistent, you adjust to it. And they were consistent. They just kept calling fouls. From a flow standpoint, it made the game less enjoyable.
Yeah, Arkansas as well for Memphis. Memphis at this moment has wins over Missouri, Michigan, Arkansas, VCU, and Texas A&M.
Yeah. Memphis is fine.
Yeah, they're
living life.
They play Clemson, Virginia next, by the way.
Yeah.
Tigers ranked top 10 probably after this. I think they're still undefeated in the ACC. And then Virginia's Virginia. They're a top 25 team. Memphis projected to win both those games, by the way. Ken Palm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Ken Palm has Ole Miss still going 18-13, 6-12 in the SEC.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
I can't argue that right now. Do I think they'll probably win more than that? I do, based on what I'm looking at. But can I see how a computer would spit those numbers out? Sure, absolutely.
They have to quit allowing offensive rebounds. They're 315th in the nation in getting defensive rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good enough to overcome that.
No, that'll get you beat in the SEC. Period.
Just not catching the basketball.
Because there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. I don't know that there's outside of Kentucky. I don't know that Kentucky's great yet.
Yeah, had a little bit of an uneven Saturday for the SEC. We'll get into that in a second. Look at some games around the league. First, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. Have a lot of different flavors. Pick out your favorites. Try a bunch of different ones. They've got my favorites, the signature, the garlic. It's kind of an everyday shrimp flavor there. Got a little Cajun cake, but not much. It's more of an all-around great flavor for you. The Louisiana shrimp boil, a little bit of a spicier option, New Orleans style barbecue shrimp. They got the full meals in a bag, French Quarter Alfredo. Just throw a little pepper in with that, and you're ready to go with a full meal with prime shrimp. They ship directly to your door, fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate. It's great for the holiday season, snacks, dinners. A lot of times you got stuff going on. They will hook you up and make it easy on you. Prime shrimp. Use code RG. Buy 5 pouches or more, and you get 25% off. That's code RG with primeshrimp.com.
Brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. If you're thinking about going on a vacation that you want to create a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. Give him some parameters, give him a budget, and he'll come up with options that you're probably not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, j.edwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square is the perfect place to plan your Christmas party, your company dinner, a festive party event. Fabulous food, great craft libations as well. OPA can accommodate up to 200 guests. So for catering or booking information regarding OPA, contact Jeannie at 601-421-7147. And we're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. We'll have our bowl picks up in 10 days or so, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, whether you're seeking an entry-level position or you're a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board. Whether you're in IT, engineering, dentistry, accounting, law, manufacturing, human resources, or maybe something that you don't even know what you're looking for, they can help you at Service Specialist. It's always free for the candidate as well. So you've got nothing to lose. Give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138 or check out their website, servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive? Are you wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. myperfectfranchise.net or Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or you can call him at 404-973-9901.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drugs, one in Oxford, one in Holly Springs. They have their high-dose flu shots for patients over 65 years old or just anyone that wants the extra protection. Most clinics typically give standard dose to all patients. They highly recommend that 65 and up patients get a high-dose flu shot from them. They also have the RSV vaccine available for those who need that. You can get those vaccines by appointment, which makes getting in and out super easy. Just give them a call to schedule at 662-236-2222 for G&M Pharmacy in Oxford, or 662-252-2321 for Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs. I said it last week. I still think that home SEC opener against Florida is such a critical game because that's gettable, and you got Vanderbilt right after that. Getting the 2-1 feels like kind of a necessity here on December the 11th as we look ahead and try to make any kind of predictions there at all. Because Knoxville is going to just show up and see how it goes and then come home and try to win a couple basketball games.
Yeah.
Because you have those right there. So, uneven day for the SEC. We talked about all the big non-conference matchups that were going on around the league on Saturday. Got a few, but didn't get one of the big ones you thought maybe. Kansas beats Missouri 73-64 at Fog Island. There was that at Kansas?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little confused on what's neutral site and what's not. Purdue, Alabama was one hell of a basketball game. Alabama gave the Boilermakers all they wanted. Purdue played well in the second half, outscored the Tide by 8 in the second half, won 92-86. there between the Tide and Purdue. That was in Toronto for the Hall of Fame series. Penn and Kentucky, 81-66, and Malone's classic for that. Kentucky just played pretty well and beat the Quakers. Again, 81-66. Tennessee at home knocked off the Illinois Illini. That was a top 25 matchup. Tennessee ranked 17th, Illinois ranked 20th. 86-79, the balls over the Illini in that one. Arkansas just with another loss. They're 6-4 now on the season. 79-70 to a good Oklahoma team. Sooners 9-0, by the way. They are undefeated.
It's almost like Porter Moser's a pretty good coach.
He's all right. So they're in in Norman, 79-70 over Arkansas. Mississippi State beat up on Tulane, 106-76 at the Holiday Hoops Giving. I don't know where that was, but the Holiday is in Atlanta. Was that right?
Sounds
For some reason, Atlanta feels right on that.
Sounds right.
Bulldogs by 30.
Didn't Ole Miss play in that one time when they lost to like Western Kentucky or something?
That does feel right. Yes. So Jamie and Sharp would have been on that team.
Yeah,
because that was in the last couple of years, right? Was that last year? Or was it 2 years ago?
It was Kermit.
It was 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah,
one or the other. South Carolina coming off their loss to Clemson. They win. They go to Greenville, North Carolina, and beat East Carolina 68-62. So the Gamecocks now 8-1 on the season. Kansas State goes into Baton Rouge and beats up LSU pretty good. Kansas State 75, LSU 60 there at the PMAC on Saturday. LSU struggling 5-4 overall. They don't appear to be very good. Auburn absolutely waxed Indiana. Holiday Hoops Giving, so that was wherever the other one was again. I think Atlanta. Auburn 104, Indiana 76. The Tigers 6-2, Indiana 7-2 now on the season. And then at the Auto Nation Orange Bowl Classic, the Florida Gators beat the Richmond Spiders 87-76.
Oh,
in that one. So not the worst day, but you kind of, if you're in the SEC, you wanted Arkansas to get Oklahoma, or you wanted Alabama to get Purdue. You kind of wanted one of those that would be the big one, and didn't get that. But there doesn't appear to be any really bad loss on the slate either. So LSU getting popped like that at home against Kansas State. So Kansas State's good, but that's a wake-up call for you.
Yeah, LSU's not very good.
Kansas State 8-2 on the season at this juncture. So, but it was the first kind of like full Saturday we got of basketball where we're turning the calendar and doing that. Tennessee, the only game on Tuesday.
I spent my Saturday getting Christmas shopping done.
I saw you. Yeah.
So you saw me, and then I did the rest of it online. Laura had been driving me crazy about, hey, has Carson given you a list? Do you know what Carson wants? Because I'm always the one responsible for Carson's Christmas. Laura does the girls. I do Carson. And so she left, and I said, hey. And he got him to come to the top of the stairs. I'm like, look, I don't care. Okay? I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. So, guys out there, this is a moment.
This is Saturday.
I said Saturday about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
I said, I don't care. So this isn't me getting on you. But she's busting my you-know-what about this. So.
Do me a favor.
I need the damn list. He's like, I'm working on it. I said, no, just give me part of the list.
Give me like 4 things.
Just give me something. Let's go. I mean, he looks at me and I'm like, he's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, no. I don't care. It's all good. But
I am third party yelling right now.
I said, but I'm gonna tell you this. You're too young to understand this thing. I said, but there's this expression that's out there. I said, me and cliches, right? And he goes, yeah. And I said, there's one that happy wife, happy life. I said, there's an element of truth to that. I'm tired of being bugged about this, and you're the person that's stopping me from being bugged. Just give me something. Yes, sir.
He give you something?
Came down with a list. I went down that thing. Boom.
Did you?
Knocked
you just started
out.
ordering stuff?
Ordered. And I reiterated my one request at the end of the day, which pissed her off thoroughly.
Don't get you anything.
For my Christmas.
Yes.
Don't spend money on me. I'm good. I'm a grown-up. If I want it, I'll get it. I can buy it on April the 3rd, September the 9th, October the 12th. Don't add to the debt here with me. And I said, and if you've already done it, cancel it.
Oh, I'm a self-admitted bad gift person because I never want anything. And frankly, I don't find because I don't care about my birthday even 1%.
I'm the same
I
way.
have a hard time caring about other people's because I'm just like, I'll try, but
Yeah.
I just mentally I'm not there. It's not something that I'm kind of in the we all have one school a little
Yeah.
bit, and I
mean, every day there are hundreds of thousands of them.
And
Yeah.
when I want something, like you said, I typically just get it. So if I want something on like October the 2nd, and they're like, hey, that can be Christmas. I'm like, it's October the 2nd.
I'm gonna wait
I
2.5
want it
months.
now.
I need it now.
Yeah. Like,
or I want it now.
yeah. It's like, okay, but zero to order most of Carson's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not about to go shop for Carson. I have no clue what, I mean.
Just go to Memphis and
the
spend a
truth
day.
is, like, he wears the same stuff every day because they go right from school to soccer, and so he just puts on his soccer stuff. Every time I see Hunter Crane, I think to myself, that's the guy that clothed my child for the school year. Appreciate that. Sweatshirts, hoodies, T-shirts.
Thanks to the Booster Club for the
I mean,
the swag.
It's all good. I can't even imagine what he'd wear if he weren't on the team. But they practice basically every day, so he wears his stuff.
Still wear Thunder stuff?
No, he wears Oxford.
He doesn't wear Thunder much stuff at all?
He does occasionally, but not like. He asked for a Thunder jersey.
Which one? Chet?
He wanted Holmgren. Yeah.
Okay.
And thank God I did it when I did it, because those are gone.
Oh, they really?
Yeah.
They blowing up?
I guess. Like, I thought about getting him an extra one, a second one as a surprise, Jalen Williams. You can't find it.
So you gonna win Rookie of the Year?
Chet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. Chet's a dude. I mean, Draymond Green said the other night he's a potentially generational talent. I agree.
Really?
Yeah. The whole he's too skinny thing? Nah. He's super skilled. I mean, he is skilled for a 7'1" guy to do some of the stuff he can do. This isn't even Thunder talking. This is just a guy who watches basketball a lot. He is really skilled. And he's a guy that the NBA game suits him far more than the college game does because it's more flow.
Interested at all in Titans, Dolphins, or Packers, Giants tonight?
Ooh, no.
7:15 on ESPN for Titans, Dolphins. Miami's going to win. 7:15 on ABC for Packers, Giants.
Neither.
I will say Green Bay's not terrible. They're better.
I think the Thunder play again tonight. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe
the Lions look very vulnerable. They just laid a dud yesterday. They're 9-4, but
no,
that feels first-round playoff exit. Like somebody can absolutely get them right there.
And bless his heart, Jared Goff is just not good in weather of any sort.
Yeah.
You're probably going to play in some weather at some point.
Probably a good thing he didn't play in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be where he is right now.
It's probably true.
Because he can be great. He can look really, really good. And then it just...
first half of the year, he was in the MVP conversation.
We had a 3-0 game yesterday.
Ooh, who?
Raiders lost 3-0 to the Vikings, I think, yesterday. Dobbs got benched in that one. So that neat story is kind of over there. Joe Flacco leading Cleveland to a win over the Jags yesterday. 38-year-old Flacco. Cleveland's really good defensively.
They are. They're really.
Is your boy okay?
Who's my boy?
CJ.
Oh, did he get hurt?
Yeah, he maybe a concussion. Head bounced off the turf yesterday. They got popped.
They need to be nicer to him.
Yeah, they got popped yesterday. You really didn't keep up, did you?
I didn't. I didn't. I was doing recruiting stuff, and then I watched the Ole Miss basketball game, and I wrote. I was working on I was getting a recruiting story ready.
Mm-hmm.
I was writing about Juice Wells for total honesty. I was getting that commitment story ready. Working on 10 thoughts.
There's a press conference with the Peach Bowl CEO yesterday, so that information.
Tomorrow. You said yesterday.
Tomorrow.
It's Tuesday.
Yes. Gary Stokin.
Yes.
Will be in Lafayette County for that press conference. So all that coverage to you.
someone's going to ask for behind-the-scenes stuff, and he's not going to provide one scintilla.
His job is to promote the Peach Bowl, the city of Atlanta, and Chick-fil-A.
We are super excited about Ole Miss. Can't wait to welcome you to Atlanta.
We love those uniforms. We love Lane Kiffin. We love all the alumni base that's in town. We have this huge national alumni base with Penn State. It's going to be an SEC, a Big Ten. We're going to get a great football game between two prestigious universities.
We found out when you did who we were getting.
Yeah, and we were so excited.
Did you lobby behind the scenes at all? Oh, absolutely not. That is all in the hands of the committee. There's a process, and we were just
so elated Ole Miss was ranked where they were ranked.
So excited to get Ole Miss and Penn State. So there was no maneuvering behind. Absolutely not. We were so excited to get Ole Miss and Penn State. Wouldn't you like some Chick-fil-A?
If I give you an hour, how many Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets could you eat?
I mean, probably a lot. How many could I eat?
Yeah. No, literally could.
I don't know. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had them.
200?
See, I'm not
They're
good. They're
pretty bite-sized.
I'm not good at this. Probably.
More than that?
I mean, probably 100. I don't know. I mean, I would probably start to feel pretty sick pretty quick.
500?
I couldn't. No. How many could you eat?
The problem with that is that, you don't really feel full for 10, 15 minutes, and they're so small. You would feel like death and all hell in half an hour. But you could run through a lot of nuggets.
Yeah.
In the first 20 minutes.
Like if you were really hungry or something?
Or just in general, because you don't feel it immediately. But now that grease is going to start piling up, and you're going to, I mean, pure stomach capacity is going to hit you too. That's a lot of.
They're providing free Chick-fil-A for us media hacks afterwards.
What's it going to be?
I don't know. You going to go get it?
No, probably not.
Yeah, me neither.
It's not even like I'm being a curmudgeon. It's just the restaurant's right over there. If I need it, I'm good. It's all right. I mean, it's neat. But it's like every other media thing that happens is you'll have a group that, by God, it's like we're in Ethiopia and they haven't eaten in 6 months. You're going, what? Okay. But
they'll race over there to it. Load up.
I know. I mean, I'm.
I typically don't. If it's kind of a thing, I'm like, no, I'm good. And plus, if you eat that at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to have a productive afternoon. Like you're not going to go to the gym or go run or hop on the Peloton. That's not going to happen in your free time.
You don't think so?
Not going to do it. No, you're going to be kind of undermotivated. You're not going to feel great. You're going to be a little sleepy. I'm not a big lunch. Like I don't eat a big lunch ever. If I have any interest in being productive in the afternoon.
Sonia Thomas has the world record. And now this doesn't say Chick-fil-A. It just says chicken nugget in general. She ate 80 in 5 minutes.
Whew. That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what kind and nothing like that, but 80 in 5 minutes is the record. I love them. Okay, like I can eat oysters. I love oysters. I almost threw up just reading this. Again, Sonia Thomas, the world record in 8 minutes, 47 dozen oysters
raw
in 8 minutes.
Oh, and I love them.
Oh
but
God,
no, but no.
The texture over that period of time.
Got it. Yeah, you would feel sick.
Well, I mean, I can remember this. Neal probably doesn't recall this. Were you in town? It had to have been, I think, the day Orgeron was fired. Were you here?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. It was maybe it was not. It was one of those early press conferences before you and I started working together. We'd run across each other or whatever. I don't remember what you were in town for.
I covered the Iron Bowl that day.
Okay. I don't know what you were in town for, but whatever. And you walked out and we were towing some. No, actually, this might have been after right when we first started working together. I don't remember. I have to think about what this was. And it was some random press conference. Nothing was overly newsworthy, but it was something to kind of do. And I was talking to maybe like Jeff Robertson and somebody else was like, hey, you want to grab lunch or whatever? And Neal walked over and goes, there is work to do. Y'all care way too much about food.
It's true.
And he looked over and went, okay, fair enough.
It's true.
And this was in like pre P90X, Neal, and still he was like, "What are we doing? Like, this is not what is the
Well, like on game day in the press box,
right
and people keep going back for more cookies. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it's fine, whatever, do your thing, but like,
it's habit. They're there.
I guess so.
Yeah, it's needing to do something with your hands.
You could type.
You could type. Chew gum.
Yeah. Gum's a weakness of mine, like bubble gum.
When I've been Hoover a lot with Kendall Rogers, when he's on one of his weight loss kicks there toward the end of the baseball season, he brings tons of cucumbers into the press box and eats raw cucumbers all day. Because, I mean, you can eat 1,000 and it's no calories.
That's true.
He just chews on raw cucumbers. He might have a little bit of hummus or something, but it's just cucumber.
That's interesting.
Cucumber. Yeah, that's his hack there for that one. So anyway, now that we've devolved into competitive eating, we'll move on in a second. First, NeSpark, NeSparc, service people across rural communities. 2 packages: the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's NeSpark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, and much more. So to get the best internet in Lafayette County, that's 662-238-3159.
Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails. A lot offered at Southern Traditions. Horseback riding offerings from beginner to advanced, nationally recognized competitions, and more. Learn more on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. Would you like some peace of mind knowing that your roof is taken care of, whether you need an inspection, a new roof, or a maintenance program? Riverland Roofing has you covered, home or business, as a GAF Master Elite contractor that can offer warranties that last a lifetime. Licensed and insured, Riverland services Mississippi and its surrounding states. Text or call Riverland today at 662-644-4297. Are you ready for the ultimate college experience? Welcome to College Town, Oxford, your new home away from home. They know you want the best. That's exactly what they offer. No more long commutes or missing out on campus events at Ole Miss. College Town, Oxford's next door to the Ole Miss campus, offering spacious 2, 3, 4, and 5-bedroom cottages, each with individual leases because they believe in flexibility and simplicity. Their incredible amenities will make you feel like you're living in a resort. So whether it's a weekend binge-watching session or hosting the best game day parties, you'll do it in comfort and style, cheering on the Rebels with your friends. Text their VIP list today and be the first to know when their leasing for fall 2024 is open. 662-300-3733. I'll have a mailbag up on Wednesday. It's brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously, just call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at arthur.hayes, that's Hays, at lakesmn.com.
Podcast is brought to you by Style Assembly, women's boutique on the square. Clothes, shoes, purses, jewelry, art, and more. Huge selection of Gooder sunglasses for men and women. And they have their online store up and running. That's shopstyleassembly.com. Click shop now. Shipping is free anywhere in the U.S. on orders over $150. Exclusive discount code RG15. That's RG15 on the website between now and the end of the year to receive 15% off. Your first online purchase. Is a corporate sponsor of the Grove Collective, as well as a founding member of the Grove Collective Business Coalition. And you can shop in person at 203 North Lamar next to Blind Pig. Ask for Kate. The owner shall personally help you out. Again, that's shopstyleassembly.com. It looks like that actually record has been broken. Somebody did 100 nuggets in like 4 minutes and 44 seconds.
Wow.
I see that now.
Wow.
Somewhere around there. The world record for most in a minute is
like, I wonder how many like Gus or Rizzo could eat in 5 minutes.
Because they didn't hill.
Rizzo wouldn't even chew. Just.
How's his paw? What's going on?
We'll know more later today.
I mean, are we like? What's the overall situation?
It's not good.
Really?
Yeah, but it's maybe better today than it was. Certainly better today than it was Friday. Friday was not good.
Is he in pain?
No. That's done a really good job with
making
him feel better.
Really?
Yep.
How long has it been going on?
About a month.
Has it really been that long?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Been a story.
Let's see. What do we have here? Finishing up the show. Bowl schedule is what we've got later this week and then into next week from a practice standpoint.
Yeah, so we've got a press conference tomorrow that you referenced a minute ago. We have media availability. It doesn't say anything about practice coverage, though it doesn't really matter. Right? What are we going out there to watch calisthenics? Wednesday, Friday this week, media opportunities with players on Wednesday the 13th, Friday the 15th, Monday the 18th, and Tuesday the 19th. And then we'll get Kiffin on Wednesday the 20th, which is also National Signing Day.
Oh, right.
And then that will be it. And then on Tuesday the 26th, I will head to Atlanta. My coverage of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I really appreciate those guys stepping up and helping, making it a lot easier for us to actually go really cover a bowl game. So I'll be there on the 26th. Kiffin and Franklin are available via Zoom that day, and then coverage on site begins Wednesday the 27th. We'll get coordinators on the 27th and the 28th, so we'll hear from Pete Golding for the first time since the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Weiss, of course, as well. And then both head coaches will have a press conference on Friday the 29th, and then kickoff is on Saturday the 30th. There's your Peach Bowl itinerary from a coverage standpoint.
I'm saving Ohtani for tomorrow because I knew we would need it, and I want to get into some of the media stuff that you referenced with me earlier today. So it was gonna be longer than I had time to fit into the show today. But the Cubs portion, you've kind of been out for like 2 weeks. It wasn't really a Cubs thing at all, was it?
No, I have a very unpopular Cubs opinion among Cubs people, and it's one that it makes me realize two things. One, that I think my fandom has died to a degree, and two, it makes me realize that I look at these things more objectively or rationally than a lot of people. So he gets $700 million. As soon as I heard the number, I was like, okay, well, the Cubs were never going to do that.
Sure.
And further, once you saw that the Dodgers would go there, you were never going to get him. Like, there's a guy that I listened to his Cubs podcast. I probably won't anymore because he sort of exposed himself as not understanding anything. He says, the Cubs made a mistake by not just making it happen. I'm like, you couldn't make it happen. Can't you see that? He was always going to the Dodgers. The other stuff was just to drive the number up. He was always going to the Dodgers. So the Cubs didn't get Juan Soto, and I wouldn't have paid that prospect price for 1 year of Soto either. And he will test free agency because he's a Boris client. They all do. It doesn't look good on Cody Bellinger. And so I look at it and go, okay, you have a lot of money coming off the books next season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what Heisman means. Are you going to check out the battery? I don't know what that means.
In Atlanta. Braves area.
I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. You have a lot of money coming off the books. I would look at this season and go, you've got a really talented farm system. Everyone ranks it top 5. Some people rank it number 1. This might be the year to find out what you have.
Mm-hmm.
A development year, an analytical year, a keep your powder dry year. There's no point in throwing a lot of money at mediocrity. That's the way I view it. Someone goes, well, you could win the Central. Okay, what does that mean? You're not going to be good enough to beat the good teams. You're not going to be good enough to beat the Braves, the Phillies, the Dodgers. So keep your powder dry. Save the money. View it as almost a 2-year budget. You got, again, tons of money coming off the books. Don't add bad money to your books now just for the sake of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Own it. Hey, we misplayed the offseason. It happens. The Yamamoto thing, they're not going to get him. He's going to either go to the Yankees, the Mets, or the Dodgers. Don't be shocked at the Dodgers. And just take a season and find out what your young guys can do. Put Christopher Morel at third base, put him there all year, and go, let's see by the end of the year we think he's a major league third baseman.
Mm-hmm.
You know he has a major league bat. See if he can be a major league third baseman. Answer that question. Put Matt Mervis at first base and go, hey, dude, chill out. You're here. It's your job. And find out, do you have a major league first baseman?
Yeah.
And maybe you do, and maybe you don't. Sometimes a negative answer can be a positive outcome. But you don't know if you don't try.
No, using whatever your budget is to make sure you go win 84 games.
It's dumb.
It's not.
Yeah, and that's but you see that in fandom, like, okay, well, we got to go get Matt Chapman now. Well, why? What does Matt Chapman bring you to the table?
Mm-hmm.
Good glove. He's an adequate bat. He's a good player, but he's not doing anything for you. Matt Chapman's not pushing you over the top. Put Pete Crow Armstrong in center field and go, hey, dude, relax.
Play defense.
Relax. It's your job. Go play. And at the end of 150 some odd games, from an organizational standpoint,
see what it looks like.
You have a ton of data now. And you go, okay, he is a major league center fielder, or he's not.
Yeah.
And if he's not, that's still an answer.
Yeah.
That's why I'll stop with my soapbox here. But I can remember taking Campbell on a college trip to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah.
I've told you this story before. And she's like, I don't like it. And I went, good. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, because there's somebody here who loves it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not for you, which is a data point for you.
Yeah. Mark it off, and we mark off places like it.
What is it about it that you don't like? Well, it's not big enough. And,
okay.
And I don't think their Greek system is very big. And I think I want to go to a place that has big Greek system. Okay. Well, there you go. Now you have a data point that you can use to make a better decision.
Yeah.
I think the same thing holds for the Cubs, but I don't sense that that's the direction they're going to go. I anticipate that over the next few weeks, they're going to throw a lot of big money at average things to make their roster look a little better, to appease a handful of fans who don't understand that they were never going to get Ohtani.
Yeah.
But I do tomorrow want to get into the Morosi thing.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I want to talk about it tomorrow, and I knew we would need it. Jaden Daniels wins the Heisman Trophy. He is it's the smallest margin of victory since 2018 when Kyler Murray beat Tua for the award. Daniels finishes with 2,029 points. Michael Penix Jr. 1,701 points, and Bo Nix 885. Marvin Harrison all the way down to 352. They changed it a few years ago. They send 4 to New York no matter what the vote differentials are. So that's why it looked like that. Jordan Travis, Jalen Milroe, Ollie Gordon, Cody Schrader, Blake Corum, and J.J. McCarthy finish in the top 10. Daniels 503 first place votes, Penix 292, Nix 51, and Marvin Harrison with 20. First Heisman Trophy winner to not play for at least his conference championship since 2016.
Oh, he deserved it.
Yeah, no issues at all.
I thought he was absolutely the guy that deserved to win the award. I wrote about this the other day. He was so impressive in Nashville. Talking to him, I'm not surprised at all that he had that season. I kind of caught myself cheering for him over the course of the year. He seems like a great kid. Another portal guy. Started his career at Arizona State.
5 of the last 7 transfer quarterbacks.
I mean, it's unreal.
He led all FBS players in QBR, yards per attempt, which was an FBS record, passing touchdowns, completions of 20 yards or more. His completion percentage was 7th in the nation. His total offensive yards per game were first, 74 yards better than the next player. His 8.4 rushing yards per attempt were also 4th in FBS among all running backs. So that's the sheer numbers were actually better than Burrow's raw numbers in 2019.
Yeah. Not to pick on certain people, but like some of the people yesterday, Sunday or Saturday night with yet another player that different schools, like, we beat this guy. Well, you didn't beat Daniels. You beat their defense.
I think LSU's defense ended up 103rd nationally.
Yeah, I mean, had 7 touchdown drives in Ole Miss and lost the game. That's not on him.
Well, had he had an 8?
Well, that's true, but
he had a throw and lost. I mean, that's what I saw.
He did.
He was high.
It was.
By like 6 inches.
Yeah.
That is one of the plays where you see it live and think one thing, and you watch the replay and go, "Oh shit, that was close."
Just to jump in on this for a second because it's in the thread. Hardman says the $700 million in reality is going to be more like $350 million. I was listening to Ken Rosenthal this morning. There was a ton of deferred money in there. No one really knows how much. Rosenthal thinks as much as $200 million of the $700 million is deferred. So the actual cash, real present value is not $700 million. It's probably more like $550 is what Rosenthal thought. Still, he's going to get $700 million over the course of time.
Speaking to this, because I don't know this, I haven't asked Walker this question, and obviously we know that there's behind the scenes stuff going on, so I'm not even disagreeing with the worry that's in your question. But Austin says, why do I feel like the Grove Collective is giving updates on re-signing Watkins, JJ, Caden, but they're silent on Judkins and Perkins? They're giving updates on guys who could go pro or return for their additional year. They're not necessarily just running through the roster on guys who are getting a little bit better of a deal. At least at this point. I mean, again, I don't know what it looked like moving forward, but that is what they have announced so far.
Caden could have also left as a grad transfer.
Yeah, he had offers from other places.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
and I love the people that still get upset about the tampering. It cracks me up. It's like, dude, can you?
He wasn't in the portal. Oh no.
Everybody's doing it.
They are. That's that. So, all right, we'll get into Ohtani tomorrow. Some more NFL, and then.
Did you see with the A's? By the way, the A's offered Ohtani $800 million. They offered him $1 a year for $800 million years.
That's funny. That's good. Ohtani's total value per year is more than 2 complete payrolls in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm curious. It's. Rosenthal dove into it pretty deep, and it was pretty interesting, his thoughts. Now, of course, he's a baseball guy.
But a lot there.
There's a lot there. Like, if you're a team, you go, hey, is it even possible? I mean, Baltimore, Tampa, those teams did it last year.
Year over year.
It's hard. Yeah.
You have one shot. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Can you do it beyond that?
Yeah.
So, and the pressure, it's on your executive. So, again, we'll get into all that. We'll find some way to tie it back into recruiting, I'm sure, as always. And the rest of the week, again, Ole Miss 9-0 in basketball. Peach Bowl coming up in just a few weeks here against Penn State. So take care. Have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.